Hello and welcome. My name is Gary McGuey, high school practice leader for The Leader in Me. We're extremely excited to be launching our very first teen leadership series entitled QuaranTEENed. Today's topic is called Quarantine Fatigue. I'd like to turn it over to our guest speaker today, Simply Divine.
Hey everybody. So I know you've seen Braden and you've seen Abby, but I'm Divine and this is gonna be Divine. So get ready. Anyway, this week we want to touch on quarantine and how everybody's tired of it, and we like to call it quarantine fatigue. So my first question for everybody is, what does it mean to you? How have you been dealing with quarantine fatigue?
Well, I think first off, quarantine fatigue to me, I feel like it can be defined differently for everyone. For me personally, it's just the lack of motivation because I'm becoming so familiar with just being tired of being like inside the house. You know what I'm saying? And so I think one of the results of having that quarantine fatigue is just loss of motivation. So I've been trying to, remotivate myself, like start waking up early again and, start working out, getting my homework done before 9 o'clock at night, things like that. Just reschedulizing myself, if that's a word.
Yeah, I agree with Abby. Definitely a loss of motivation. There's definitely like weeks where I'm like, I really don't want to do my homework, but I've organized every nook and cranny in my room and I don't know what else to do. So I just think like just trying to motivate yourself again is really important.
I agree. I think as school also is coming to an end and like eventually we're not even going to have the schoolwork to do, it becomes hard to find that all you can do is just kind of be there. You can't really go out and do everything you'd want to do. So you have to find new things to do, especially since there's like, I guess another thing that we like to do or something that we have to do is being taken away or is going away.
For me personally, it's just kind of feeling stuck, just not knowing what to get accomplished for each day. So just trying to look for new hobbies, new things to do just to get by through the week and not feel just stuck in a cell, I guess.
I definitely understand what you two are talking about. I've just not been motivated to do anything, and I feel like it comes in waves. Like last week, I was completely unmotivated. Like I didn't want to do anything. But this week, I've been more motivated, I guess, because school, for me at least, is about to end. So for you all, how are some ways that you've found that you can overcome quarantine fatigue? Like what have you been doing to overcome it?
I know that for me, one way I've been trying to overcome this quarantine fatigue and stay motivated every day is by keeping a positive attitude. And I think something that really would help everybody is it's kind of this tool, like this leadership model of see, do, and then get. So where the C is our mindset, kind of our perspective on the situation. And that's ultimately going to determine what we do, which is our behavior and our choices. And then finally, that's going to lead to what we get, which is our results. And that's going to ultimately keep the curve down, and so that we're doing things for the greater good. And so if we're modeling kind of this leadership mindset of selflessness and of empathy and of responsibility, and we understand that our actions have consequences, then we're going to choose the right actions, and we're going to do the right things so that we can ultimately get to where we want to be and accomplish the goal at the end. So the way we have to overcome it is by just keeping that leadership mindset every day. We have to stay motivated ourselves, and we have to keep a positive attitude because our actions affect others.
Yeah, I totally agree with Braden. I feel like the way to find that motivation starts with your mindset. And when you have the mindset of, I am doing this not only for myself, but for other people who I'm surrounded by maybe. And if you're not surrounded by them, in your house, different people that you could encounter will be, you never know who's seeing who and what's doing what. So when you have that mindset of I am doing this for everyone, not just for myself, the motivation kind of comes more naturally, and it's okay, well, I'm doing this for something greater than myself, so I'm gonna find ways to overcome the hard part of it.
I feel like selflessness is the best form of motivation because when you're doing something for someone else, it motivates you to do something else for someone else, and then it's just much better for yourself in the end.
Okay, so for our friends that we see who are also going through this and they're tired of having to stay inside, what are some things that you all can share with them, or ways that you can keep a positive light even when it's hard to do? Like personally for me, I try to post positive things on social media or share words of encouragement, but it's not always easy. So what are some things you all are doing?
I've been doing many Zoom calls. Like basically Zoom is like my pretty much life now if I want to see people. But besides that, if I'm actually like craving that like human interaction, a lot of times just the 6 feet apart rule is something super, super important. You know, sometimes it's always outside. If I like want to do chalk or something, like one person will be on one side of the street and then the other person will be on the other side of the street, and even though it's not, you know, perfect, it's applying to the rules, and it's just living in this new normal that we have, if there even is a new normal. But yeah,
For sure. Like, well, today I actually like baked my friend cookies and dropped them off because I was feeling like, again, like I know I've talked about letters and everything, but I almost wanted to do something more, and it was nice getting to kind of see them from afar, and it felt good. It felt like something new and something, I don't know, that made me like feel happy because it made them happy. So it was just a big ball of happy.
I know that something that helps me out a lot is just staying patient. Like, patience is really a virtue, and right now it's especially important, or else you're going to get really bored and tired of everything what we're doing. So like, I'm just trying to stay patient about the situation and know that like we have to almost like wait it out, but continue to make the right choices. Like I said, I've been doing puzzles, watching movies a lot, finishing my homework. After this quarantine, I started following Abby on Instagram after we started this podcast, and she did a little cooking show yesterday on her story, and so I watched that out, and I get to laugh because it was good. It was entertaining, and so you have to find things like that to keep you happy and to keep you smiling, so you can make it through.
Brayden, I'm very happy to know that my cooking shows make you smile. I will keep posting them for you. I got you, bro. I got you.
Yeah, so I think that we just need to keep a positive light about all of this and know that we are not alone in fighting this. And I wanted to mention that I was watching a documentary about quarantine and what's happened in the past. And whenever they reopened everything, like that's when another spike came because everybody forgot that they need to do all these things. So what are some things that you want to share that should be done, especially, I don't know, where I live, we're reopening everything. So what are some things that you are planning on doing to stay safe, even with everything reopening?
Just make sure, just because we're getting some more freedoms, we're not totally free and out of the water, you know what I'm saying? We still have to keep our practices of social distancing, wash our hands, keeping our mask on. And just because we're going to take a step forward, but we don't want to take 2 steps forward back. So just keep that forward progress to flatten the curve.
And like even further into like the future, you know, like I would be like more cautious about like how I interact with my friends. So I would maybe not like, if a lot of times in class, you know, someone will be eating something and they'll like just share it out, like, you know, generously, but you have to think about like whose hands have been where and like how to keep clean and like not share drinks and not, you know, maybe not eat from everyone or something like that.
Don't go off and have a big party. Like, just because everyone's opening things up and all that, like, you shouldn't be going off and having a party. Like, and I've seen like the beaches opened up and then there's like almost maybe 80,000 people on the beach or like on the river or something, and I'm just like 6 feet apart, people, please.
Yeah, so I mean, we're all going through this and we're all tired and we just want to let up, but I guess we just have to stay vigilant and fight this through. And I want to invite Mr. McGuey back to sum up what we've talked about.
Thank you very much, guys. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom. Just in summarizing here, first of all, I really want to see Abby's cooking show. I really learned something here, so that sounds very cool. I heard a few things here. Obviously, I heard about the See, Do, Get model. Brayden, thanks for bringing that up. So the leadership mindset, and you guys were talking about selflessness and being selfless, thinking of others, putting others ahead of ourselves. I heard that one. I also heard the key about social distancing, the 6 feet apart, washing hands, wearing masks. And lastly, just continue being patient, staying vigilant, and almost having somewhat of a vision, looking past like the end of today, but almost looking down the road the next weeks or months to get through this. So once again, team, thank you so much for sharing your brilliance. We'll get to this all again next week. Thank you so much. Have a great week, guys.